Okay, this is going to be a video that I'm going to do. This is a Samsung 40-inch TV that belongs to my brother. He says that he was using it and then it just shut off. He opened it up apparently, saw that there was a fuse. He said it was gray, but he didn't have any way of testing it and didn't know if that was the problem, and so he asked me to look at it. So what I'm going to do is take the back off this thing and see what's inside. Okay, so I got the back off, and there are 18 screws in the back. The ones you have to make sure to get out, besides, you know, there's ones that go all the way around the edge. There are ones that hold the stand on. There are 4 behind the stand, and then there's one crafty little bugger right here. And then you have to remove this connector, which is, you have to pinch these ends together, and takes a fair bit of force. I had to use 2 screwdrivers pressing in on it to put enough force on it so that connector would come off. So this is what it looks like inside, and preliminary investigation doesn't show anything obvious. There is a fuse, but the fuse is a ceramic type, and so to test it I'll have to get it on my bench. So I'm gonna guess that there's a problem with the power supply, and we'll have to get that over onto my bench. Alright, well, this is the power supply, and the first thing I'm going to do is just give it a once over, look for anything out of the ordinary. And I'm not seeing anything. So let's check this fuse for continuity. So the fuse is good. Well, let's see if we can check some voltages. Make sure that I don't have anything conductive on my bench. Oh yeah, I forgot to check the back side of this thing. So nothing obvious. Looks like it had the smoke let out of it, or the only signs of heat are on these 4 resistors. So let's see what happens. I hear a high-pitched whine. $13 volts. 13 volts, 5.3, 5.3, $194 volts, 194, 194. see if there's any residual voltage on these. Uh, 10 volts on this one, 10.8 volts on this one. Well, unfortunately, there's no voltage rate markings on here for this connector where I got 194 volts. I'll have to do some research to see if I can find anything about what that voltage should be, but I get the feeling that there's nothing wrong with this power supply. Well, let me do some research. Okay, so I've got this thing back in here and I've done a little bit of troubleshooting on it, and here's what happens if you plug it in. And I believe this is a power button. I was able to take it out of there and put it back, and when you press it, nothing happens. However, if you disconnect the backlights like that, if I can get them off, stand by a second, trying to do this without dropping anything or getting the shit shocked out of me. There it goes. Alright, now look at this. We have a red light and we have blue lights here. And I think it's on. I just heard it make a noise. So there's something wrong with the backlights. I don't know if I'm going to be able to take this thing apart, or even if I could, I'm going to have to research and see what components are available, and they're probably going to be prohibitively expensive. So, back in a little bit. Okay, so after carefully, as much as I could, removing this frame, had to carefully pry it off, and then you have to take, there's a whole bunch of these tabs that run around the edge of this thing, and then if you get all that, you can look inside, and you can just probably barely see it, but at least one LED is burnt, and I don't know about the rest. I don't know if it's shorted or what the deal is, but I don't know. I gotta do some more research. Okay, so I've completely taken apart the entire back of this thing, and see if I can do this. I've gone through, and there's test points on each of these LEDs, and so when you can see that one's actually lighting up, but all the rest of them test like they're shorted. That one, see, this one I've gone through and tested all of them, and this is the only one that lights up. So something happened, and it blew out every one of the LEDs on this board except one. More later. Okay. So yesterday I spoke with my brother, and he doesn't want to repair this. It's going to cost him too much money. What apparently had happened is it seems to be a cascade of events. I found a forum post on badcaps.net, and someone had posted almost exactly the same problem. And what seems to be happening is that either the power supply goes over voltage and fries all the LEDs, or one of the LEDs shorts out and causes the power supply to go over voltage, and then that blows all the rest of the LEDs. I think it's probably the former more than the latter. You can see here on each side of an LED is a little test point, and what you can do is you put your meter on diode or ohm check, and then you put the positive negative leads on on either side, and if it's working in one direction, the LED will just barely light. And I did that, and there's 38 LEDs on this and only one lit, and the rest of them are all shorted. And as you can see, the parts of this thing are all spread through my kitchen. And I think that's going to be it for this video. I won't be putting it back together. I may do a video on trying to repair the power supply, but it all depends. So that's it. Thanks for watching.